exactly. Right on time. So hey everybody. So this is I think this is our last technical track of the day, which is awesome. And so certainly last but not least, we have the team. Oh, there's Jonathan. We have the team from Open Zeppelin. We've got Jonathan and Santiago, who are going to take you through working with their product set. And so I'll hand it off to you guys. Take it away.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. We've just got a short presentation, and we're going to do a demo of some Open Zeppelin product that you can use on Moonbase and Moonbeam. And just to start with, I'm going to show you a couple things. I am Jonathan Alexander. I'm CTO at Open Zeppelin. And please go ahead, Santiago.
Hey, everyone. I'm Santiago Paladino. I'm one of the developers here at Open Zeppelin.
All right, so we're going to try to move quick, and I'm going to share my screen here just to tell you a couple things. We see that okay?
Perfectly.
Great, thank you. So Open Zeppelin, if you're not familiar, we work with over 200 projects now across a number of platforms, across a number of solution areas, and we are a security and product development to help you get security and operations provider. And what we do, and part of what we're going to talk about today, is our product set. Our mission at Open Zeppelin is to protect the open is in prior to release phase and after release. And we do that with contracts, our contracts library. You develop Solidity contracts. We are starting to work with some other smart contracting languages. We have over 10,000 stars in GitHub now, where you can build ERCs, you can build NFTs. Over 90% of DeFi is protected using Open Zeppelin contracts. We're also a leading auditor in the space. If you want an audit on your smart contract, we've audited over 200 projects, includes Uniswap, Aave, Celo, UMA, Compound, DYDX, and more. And now what we've also recently released is a product called Defender, which is part of what we're going to demo for you today, and that is used by a number of leading teams as well, including Aave, Yearn, The Graph, Balancer, all use Defender. And what I want to show you, though, before we get to the Defender demo, is also a tool that we just recently released. If you're looking at developing ERCs and you want to use Open Zeppelin contracts, if you go check out the shot of our documentation page, you'll see there's a lot of features there, and there's different libraries that go into using features, and you have to kind of choose and combine them. We've now created a tool called Wizard. You can find this in our docs. It'll soon be linked right from our other pages on our website. What Wizard lets you do is select a ERC token type, set up a few parameters, and then you can start choosing what features you want to use. And what happens is we're going to automatically combine the different pieces of Open Zeppelin contracts for you into a downloadable set, that template that you can work from. And then you can open this in Remix, or you can download it and copy it into Hardhat, Truffle, whatever tools you're working with. So if you're not familiar with that and you're just getting started, check out the Wizard at openzeppelin.com. But for the remaining, what I want to do is demo for you Defender, which now has support in it, as we'll show you, for Moonbase.
Okay, Jonathan, it seems you dropped right on time. Okay, we're going to go through a quick demo of Defender. The goal will be to show you some operations that we can automate using Open Zeppelin Defender. And we're going to use as a use case a Vault contract we have already deployed on Moonbeam. And this is a simple contract where users can deposit and withdraw Ether. And we have a Guardian account that can post the contract if we spot anything funny going on. And we also have a multi-signature wallet we're using for administration purposes that can unpost the contract, can upgrade it, and can run other kind of operations. So what we're going to do is we're going to start using Defender in order to monitor this contract. I have already everything set up so we can go quickly through the demo, but I'm going to stop a little bit on each component. So we're going to start with Sentinels. Sentinels is a feature within OpenZeppeling Defender that allows you to monitor your contract and be alerted upon any kind of transactions that you're interested in. So in particular, I have set up this Sentinel to look over the Vault contract I have already deployed in Moonbase, and I have tuned it to alert me if this contract ever emits a deposited event or a withdraw event with a value that goes over a certain amount. So whenever there is a very high volume deposit or withdrawal, let's say that's something funny that I want to be alerted on so I can react upon it. You can define any conditions you want. For instance, you can define conditions on a transaction itself, such as gas price being over a certain value, and the transaction being successful or not. You can also define conditions on the parameters of the events or even function calls. And then, given a Sentinel, you can define what you want to happen if you match any of those transactions. So if whenever there is a deposit with a high volume, let's say we want the Sentinel to shoot me an email, to alert me via Slack. You can configure notifications also via Discord, Telegram, also aggregate data on Datadog. And I'm also going to ask the Sentinel to run an autotask for me, and we're going to go into autotask in just a second. You can also configure some more interesting parameters in Sentinel, such as accumulating a certain number of triggers before you get the alert, or debouncing alerts so that they don't spam you if it's a transaction that's happening way too often. But I know I have already set up this Sentinel, and I have already sent a deposit transaction with a value that will exceed the conditions that we have set. So in response to that, Defender has sent me an email. As you can see, a couple of minutes ago, I ran this deposit right before the demo. And it tells me which transaction triggered this with a link to the Block Explorer, along with which conditions and which parameters triggered this transaction. So whenever there is a high value deposit or withdrawal, I can instantly be alerted through different channels so I can react to it in no time. As mentioned, we can do more with Sentinels. In particular, we can execute custom logic that we define whenever there is a transaction that we match with a Sentinel. That's where autotasks come in. Autotasks are serverless functions. They are short JavaScript snippets where we can define our own logic and we can decide what we want to happen whenever a certain event occurs. So I have this autotask. This is pretty simple JavaScript code that it's going to use the Defender infrastructure in order to check where the contract is paused, and if it's not paused, it's going to send a transaction to it in order to pause it. And we have wired this autotask to a Sentinel. So whenever there is a high volume deposit, this code will automatically execute. It's going to instantly pause the contract. So that will issue an emergency pause and give us time to react in case there is a leak or there is something funny going with the contract. This is standard Ethers.js code. There is no magic here. And you can define whatever logic you want. You can check out the status of your contracts. You can check an external API. You can code whatever logic you want. So if we go back to the autotask, we see that 25 minutes ago, again, matching the timestamp of the transaction I already sent. There is an execution triggered by a Sentinel in which this autotask sent a transaction to pause the vault. So if we go to the Explorer, we can see that we have a transaction that was sent from Defender for pausing our contract. So this gives us time to react in the event of a potentially dangerous transaction and automatically pause the contract if we need to, or run any other kind of logic that we want. Autotasks can also be run on via webhook. Defender will automatically generate a URI that you can send a regular HTTP post to trigger. So you can use this for integration with third-party services or for implementing relays or whatever you need. Or you can also trigger them on a schedule. So for instance, you could run one of these autotasks every hour for doing bookkeeping or as a cron job or for moving your contract from one state to another. Now, how does the autotask actually send the transaction? That's where another of the Defender components comes in, which is a relayer. I have connected this autotask to a relay already set up. And the relay is nothing more than a private key that's hosted within Defender, which is kept in a secure key vault that only your team can access and only your team can use for sending transactions. So you can use it for any kind of privileged operations in your contracts if needed. In this case, this relay is the pause guardian of our vault. So it's the only account that has the rights to actually pause it. And the way we interact with the relayer is either via autotasks by just connecting the autotask to the relay. So whenever your autotask code sends a transaction, it will be routed via the relayer. But you can also interact with them via API keys. So Defender can generate API keys and secrets that can be used for interacting with the relayer directly via a regular API. And we provide also clients using GitHub.js and Web3.js to automate this process. So you can use your own code for interacting with the relay and sending transactions through it. That way you don't have to worry about properly securing and storing your hot wallets, the hotkeys you use for automating sending transactions. Now, given that we have detected a dangerous transaction, we have run our code, and we have sent the transaction in response to pause it, we can go to the last component of Defender I wanted to demo today, which is admin. Admin is an interface for managing your contracts. So here is the vault contract that we have been interacting with, and Defender automatically detects that this contract has been paused. So what we can do is we can run an unpause action directly from here. And this action is going to be routed via a Gnosis safe that I had deployed and appointed as the only account that has rights for unpausing the contract, also for adjusting some parameters and upgrading it. So I can just write some information on why we want to unpause the contract and create what we call a proposal. So what this is going to do is it's going to create a proposal within Defender that's going to be seen by you and all other members of your team, who can come here and see that, hey, there is someone within the team wants to unpause the contract because they deemed that everything was fine. A transaction will be routed via a Gnosis safe that was previously deployed. And they can just use the private keys that are appointed as signers within Defender, within the multi-sig wallet, for sending a transaction that will unpause the contract. So Defender admin allows you to run different kind of actions, either directly or via multi-signature wallets for administration of your contracts. Unpausing is just an example, but all in all, you can also run any kind of custom action, or you can also upgrade the contract. Defender will pick up all public functions, allow them to call them directly from here, either from your account or via a multi-sig wallet. Last bit, we also have Advisor, which is a knowledge base. So you can ask for any information that's relevant for the project you're working on. Defender will show you relevant articles where you have guidelines and best practices on what to do for whatever topic you're interested in. Here we have been collecting information on operations, monitoring, and also development and testing of smart contract systems.
Thank you, Paulo.
So, yeah.
Great job. And
all right. It looks like Jonathan I think you got a tough internet connection today, but I think we were able to get everything everything's showing. So thank you guys so much for joining. It was great. I hope everybody took a lot away from the technical panels today and starts using all the Open Zeppelin tools that'll be available on Moonbase Alpha. So thanks again. And for the NFT panel, I think might have just started. So I'll see everybody over there. Thanks.